Hello all, welcome to the channel. Today I'm bringing you an overview of Age of Comics, The Golden Years. This is a preview copy coming to Kickstarter very soon. So we've got the designers at the bottom here. It's brought to us by these guys in the middle, and there's the artist on the far right. Now this is a 2 to 4 player game. Might be a solo option as well. It's that medium complexity and should take in the region of up to 2 hours. And in this one we are comic book publishers, folks, heading into the time range of the late 1930s up to the early 1950s. We will be hoping to hire writers and artists at the top here. We'll be developing them with these sort of various genres of comics. You've got your writers at the top there. You'll have a choice of those. You've got your artists and then your genres. So you're hoping to attain these. You'll need idea tokens and ideas from this spot here to be able to fulfill them. You'll then need to go to print. You got this spot and this whole worker placement aspect. Are you going to print original comics at the top, or maybe the rip-off ones just below? So you can see you got a love letter there and a beautiful colouring, and then someone comes and rips you off and does love notes. But the more fans you're trying to acquire through this game, because that's how you're going to get your VPs and money, and they aren't interested in rip-offs, but they give you some nice little benefits. Maybe you're going to go and get royalties because you need the cash, or are you going to go to sales here because you need to venture out into Manhattan and try and get more orders to get more fans and get these completed. But if you take too many, you can see this say +2 fans of a 4. If you don't complete that order, then you are losing 2 victory points because you've disappointed them 2 fans. And you can move across Manhattan with these tokens here. You get your first walk for free at the top, so you can move 1 for 0, and you can move as far else as you want around Manhattan, and each spot's going to cost you $2. And if you ever land on anyone else, you got to pay them $2 for sticking around. So you're bored then. You can see this is where you're going to be developing those comics. You'll be putting your writer at the top, then your artist, and then your genre of comic at the bottom. So this is a rip-off one here. So you can have just a writer and an artist, and boom, you can search through this deck here and pick out the rip-offs. You do not have to go and develop and get the ideas. Whereas to have made this original comic here, you can see this horror, you will have had to go to this spot to hire. Boom, you've got yourself a writer. Either take one of the top ones or one of these of your choice. So if we went for this crime one here, and then you pick an artist, so we'd have 2 crime, and then you're going to have to go to this develop action to get the actual genre of comic book as well. And there is no crime there, so you might have to take the top one, or you can maybe pay $4 and search through it to get it. So once you've got that combination in your hand, and you can only keep up to 6 cards in your hand and they're kept secret, you're then going to have to go and get the idea tokens, which are on here, and you can see you work your way down. So in a 2-player game, you add 1, so the top 3 spots are available, and some spots are stronger as you get there sooner. So you're going to get 2 idea tokens of your choice from here, and then 2 from the pool separately, and the second player is going to get 1 here and 2 on, and so on. So is that what you're going to maybe concentrate on? So you need to get the develop, the writers, the artists, the idea tokens to then go and print that original comic. But if you do print an original comic, you can see here these guys would have had a host of fans for having a nice little set collection here. So you can see when you go to print, you're going to pay your salaries. You're going to need to pay 2 for the writer and 3 for the artist, combined into 5. You then need to pay 2 idea tokens in matching. So if I go and grab a couple of those, you need to pay 2 of these idea tokens to get this to come alive. And you're going to get some fans then. So you can see you're going to get 1 fan, 2 fan, because these are specialists now, and they produce and artwork and write horrors. So for doing so, you're going to get 2 fans because it's a very, content driven, very high range, that the fans are happy with those artists and their artwork and the writer and his writing. So you got more fans. You're going to get a fan yourself for producing original works. That's 3 in total. If you're the first and you have the most in the market of horror comics, you can see no one else has got horror just yet, you're going to get this master token, and you're going to get an extra fan. Now if someone else comes along out of all the players and makes, say, 2 comics, so you have to make more than someone else to steal this master token off often. And these players don't lose a fan, but this one means 2 victory points at the end of the game for whoever finishes up with it. So you'll add up all those fans, you'll find the relevant comic book name in here. So let's say it was True Terror or something, and you add it to your matching colour. So there's 4 different columns here, and let's say you were this teal player and your comic was 4, you chuck it on there, so you got 4 fans, and you can see you're potentially going to get income as well from round to round. So that's where your comic book and your fans are all tracked, and if you ever get to the top there at 10, you can literally flip over your comic book and you can see you start again at the bottom and acquire more fans. So how is a round going to play out then? So you've got the round structure. Now I should say this is the preview copy, so things may change, rules may tweak, but it's a fantastic version from what I've seen so far, folks, if that brings you guys confidence. So rounds then. Beginning phase, you're going to flip the calendar tile and the tile. So what does that mean? There's 5 rounds to this game. You can see at the top, so you flip round 1, you then look at Manhattan itself and you flip any of the matching icons so you can see a rough idea of what those fans are after and the strengths you're going to have to get to complete them. Because if you want to complete this one here, your artist and writer are going to have a combined value of 4 or more to be able to get these 2 additional fans and meet that order. The next thing we do is refill. So you refill any idea tokens that needed doing. You'll add hype. So if you didn't decide to take this comic book to market and put it in your board here, you could leave it on the side, and if you did have a special action to get one of these hype tokens here, you can get more hype from round to round, and when you do eventually print it, boom, you'll have loads of fans because it's been highly anticipated. You can also pay number 4 there to increase creative's value. So you can either train up people. So this 2, you could train it to be a free because they're working with, other quality sort of creatives in the industry. And if they're both frees, you can, if they're both 2s, you can up them to frees by training. So you've got potential to learn and to train by paying certain amounts of money as well, which differ. You then enter the middle phase, which is where you're actually placing these workers, which are known as editors. So you've got 4 to begin with. So first player goes up, they plonk at one of these spots. Then the next player goes, they do one. And you can see there's a spot here as well. If you've eventually got a special action here, you can get some of these out. So you do your 4 editors. You then go to the end phase, which is you establish your rankings. So you're going to look at who has the highest value comics on here in terms of fans. So these guys are going to get 3 victory points and then 2 victory points. And it says it all at the bottom here. You will then earn your money. So you're going to earn that dollar based on where your fan base is on the track for each one. So let's say these guys here have 2 comic books. You're going to get $4 for this one and $3 for that one. So that's how you're going to get your money from round to round. You're then going to remove a fan. So all fans, all comics, should I say, on this fan track are going to go down 1. So they're losing interest, which is why you have to kind of keep them happy with, new content and stuff. So you're going to go down 1. You're then going to remove all your editors from the board. So you bring them all back, typical worker placement, and then you discard all these cards. So let's say you hired them and you took, this writer and this artist. You do not replace straight away. Only at the end of the round in that last phase will you discard all these cards and bring out a new free set from each one. But I do remind you that when you do go to high, you can take the top card if you wanted, if there was nothing of interest, or you could pay to search for 4. So once you finish the 5th round, folks, you're going to score up. So you're going to score up points for your fans. So if we were looking at here, these guys are going to get 6 points for this, 4 points for that, for the number of fans. You will then get VP based on the round to round, those little tokens you've had. If you were first player with some of these mastery tokens as well, and if you had any of these better color quality tokens as well, you're going to get points for any money left over, 4-to-1 ratio, 4-to-1 ratio on any idea tokens left, and you're actually going to score your comics themselves. So if you have a comic like, for example, this horror one where all 3, the artist, the writer and the comic genre itself, are the same in horror, 6 VPs. If only 2 are matching, it's 4 VPs, and if they're all very different like this one, well, that's a rip-off. You ain't going to score. That's only originals only. Reminds you here, you're going to get 2 VPs. The most victory points is the winner of the game, folks, if that sort of focuses. Now, there's another layer to this game. There is special action. So as you add on more comics on your board here, you're going to take off these tokens. So you can see the first one, the second slot means this token comes off, and then the third one, you can take this off, and you can see it reminds you of the strength they can go on. So that second one is being placed on here. So you've got 2, 2, 2, and then this one's 3, and then you've got 4s and 4s here. So this token, you put it on your matching colour on your choice of one of these 3 actions. And what are these special actions? So if when you come around to hire and you put your work up here, you do the hiring, a writer and an artist, you can, on this particular spot, you can change a writer once and an artist once on that action, that one time only on that action, and you can do it again if you come here later on. So you can swap them over. So maybe, you know, this comic book here, it didn't quite go for you and you needed a stronger artist, and you've now got, you know, an artist who's a specialist in romance. You could swap it out. So that's really giving you flexibility to move those writers and artists around. This middle one here, this is a special action for getting the hype tokens. This one lets you trade idea tokens in for fans, so you can go up 1 fan per comic. This one lets you get these tokens that with 2 victory points at the end of the game for better quality. Royalty is really nice. You can spend money to get more fans and use that on 1 comic, so up to $9 max. And finally, we've got the sales, which means you can get an extra worker, which you can use that round, and then you put them back at the end of the round. There's some lovely theme in this game, folks. It all matches up really well. Some of the artwork and the way it really makes you feel like you're running a comic book sort of publishing company. Are you going to go and get these orders, and can you fulfill them? You know, you're getting a free movement here, and then you're like picking up this one, and then you're getting a tax here for 2. You're picking up this one and this one. You know, can you actually fulfill that of a strength of 6? You know, your Western comics. So loads of things to think about on this one. Lovely production. If this is something of interest, go and check it out on Kickstarter soon, folks. There we are, Age of Comics, The Golden Years. Enjoy.